What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for listening to Your Ex-Drinking Buddy. My name is Brennan Tassif. I'll be your host. Subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcast. Check out the merch store at brennantcomedy.com/merch-store. And make sure you subscribe on YouTube as well. We'll put the shorts up there, the full video, the whole thing. Thank you so much for listening. I love it. I hope you love it. Subscribe on Patreon, too. We do bonus episodes. I do Tales from the Restaurant, where I talk about celebrities I've waited on and whether they're assholes or not, which is super fun. Also, we do a pre-show banter for my other show, Cheers from the Press Box with Joe Dorville. A lot of behind-the-scenes stuff going on over there, too. Make sure you just subscribe everywhere, just all over the place. I greatly appreciate it. And if you're not leaving the mean comments, thank you for that. Maybe leave a couple nice ones.
Grab me your beer and grab me a coke. We bout to sit for an hour, bullshit and tell jokes. And please don't mix it up, cause he done sobered up. Brennan T Comedy on your social media feeds. And Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. I'm your host, Brennan Tassif. If you're new to the program, quick rundown of the show. I used to be everyone's favorite drinking buddy. It was my favorite thing to do. Hang out with friends, get drunk, do drugs, get in all sorts of trouble, and then reminisce about those crazy stories. I am sober now, but it's still one of my favorite things to do. Hang out with somebody and reminisce about the crazy old days. Most weeks I'll be joined by a guest. This week is no exception. All the way from New York City, Skyler Holzman.
Let's go. What's up, dude?
Welcome back, dude.
I'm so excited to be back. This is
Second
incredible.
time on the show.
This is a big feeling for me. I think this is a big milestone in my career.
Before we get too far into anything, though, plug everything one more time. Plug everything up front. You have the Leg Day Comedy Show, which is fucking huge.
Dude, Leg
You've
Day.
got the social media, let everybody know.
Yes. Okay. Leg Day Comedy. I run the show once a month. It's at a gym. If you see me on camera, you'll question why it's at a gym, but it's at a gym. It's a wonderful show. It's called 720 Strength on the Lower East Side. Instagram handle is Leg Day Comedy. Ticket link is all there. Once a month, usually the third Saturday of every month. My personal Instagram. Yeah, how about that? Plugging my show that I'm so proud of above my personal Instagram, dude. My personal Instagram is Skyler Holzman, SKYLERHOLZMAN _ and then this podcast that I mentioned would be back by the time I came back on the show is not quite back yet.
It's not quite there.
It's not quite there, but it's getting there. It's because my co-host went to Europe for 6 weeks. But
apropos to what we're going to discuss.
There you go. It's a little foreshadowing for you guys. But the name of the podcast is Uncover the Spread. It's a satirical sports betting podcast, and that's also the Instagram handle, Uncover the Spread Pod, I believe.
Beautiful. Well, dude, this is your second time coming on. The first time you were on, it's interesting because I spoke with friends of ours like Greg Melly and a few other people, and they're like, "Oh, you had Skyler on. That's awesome." But he doesn't drink. What did you guys talk about?
Yeah, we
and I was
about
like,
stuff.
well, actually, funny you bring that up. He doesn't drink anymore.
Yeah, but he was awesome when he did.
There's a big gap, and it's because this happens a lot actually. Because even like when I had Grace Lobo on, his co-host, when I went on Hill to Die on their podcast. Greg was like, "What did you guys talk about?" And Grace was like, "Oh no, I drink a lot, like a lot." And Greg was like, "Really?" So that's one of the things I love doing about the show. I love about doing the show is the fact that I'll have people on, and based on like what they talk about on stage or just their friend circles within comedy, like some of this stuff doesn't come up.
Yeah,
because again, like if you don't like go out and go hard with other comics, they just assume maybe you don't do that because we spend so much time with other comics,
right?
We talked about it on your last episode, but you don't drink anymore. Like it's a well-known thing. So It is so funny when people are just like, "What'd you talk about?" And I was like, "Well," because it happens with me all the time because no one in New York has seen me drunk.
Right.
So it is a weird thing when they're like, "Oh, you're sober, you wouldn't get it." And it's like, well,
no, I have experience. No,
Yeah.
I've lived.
I have quite a bit of experience with this.
Lot. No, it's interesting. I've always said this actually. I really feel like, and this is a weird way to put it, but I've always felt like you don't really know like another comic until you know whether or not they have siblings and how many siblings they have.
Yeah.
And it's kind of an arbitrary detail, but I always feel like I just assume I think especially when you're earlier on in stand-up, you just assume everybody's kind of a lone wolf.
Yeah.
You're like, does anybody have a job? Does anybody have a life? Does anybody have a
Does anybody
family?
have any friends outside
you know,
of
does anybody have
comedy?
friends?
Yeah.
What do they do? But I think it is interesting because like, especially when you're hanging around other comics, like, you know, it's like kind of a bit war.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and you know, it starts off, I think, at least for the most part, very superficial. But I've always found that the people I've connected with the most in comedy are the people who I can have obviously actual conversations with. It's not a bit war. It's like, you know, it's just a normal connection where you can have like actual real conversations. But I think it's funny because sometimes comics will be like, oh yeah, like I'm an only child, and I'll be like, well, that makes perfect sense. But then sometimes comics will be like, yeah, I'm like one of 6, and I was like, okay, well that also makes sense.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
Well, it is an interesting thing too you bring up because the I call it I saw this thing on the show Shrinking, where Harrison Ford's character goes, I don't like my son-in-law because he's a cardboard cutout, like he just takes up space, and I was like, oh, that's a great way to put it. Because the one thing, and my fiance knows this about me, the one thing I don't like when we're in groups of like people, especially with her friends, because they're just trying to be polite, but we don't have a ton in common.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of like small talk. And I fucking hate small talk because I have to do it in life. You have to do it with your table. Like as an employee of a restaurant, I have to do it with my tables.
Right.
I have to do it with like people after a show. I have to do it in situations where I'm around people that aren't comics, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, hey, good. So I can't stand that.
Yeah.
So it is interesting because the people I gravitate towards the most in comedy are people that I can have like real conversations with. But the difference is, and you put it very succinctly, it's a bit war. The difference between small talk with regular people and then small talk with comedians is small talk with regular people, it's like the weather, man, crazy, right?
Yeah.
And small talks with comedians, it's just you trying to outbid each other.
Yes.
Because it's basically like, what are we doing, man?
Yeah.
I have a friend of mine, love him to death. He's been on the show. I will not mention his name because this might be kind of disparaging, but he speaks in bits.
Yeah.
Like that's just... And it's true to him and true to who he is.
Right.
But sometimes you'll be talking with him and you'll be like, are you fucking running bits right now? Like, I'm trying to have a real... Are you... And he doesn't even know he's doing it because that's just how he speaks.
Right.
But you're like...
Right.
All right, like fucking relax, dude.
Yes. Well, so that's so funny. And that's a real thing because I've always found that within that there's like a dichotomy within a bit war where it's like, okay, are you either doing it just because you don't even realize you're doing it because you kind of just have this comedic prowess that you're kind of
you're
putting
just
on
always
display.
in this mode,
right? Or are you using it to cover how you're actually feeling? And that I can't stand
we
because
cannot abide.
I cannot. I love my favorite thing in life is breaking introverts and like getting them to. I'm like no, you're not. You got something. You got something.
Well, and it's interesting you bring this up because I'm introverted by nature. I'm an extroverted introvert, which
wild.
is a very interesting thing.
I would not have
Nobody
guessed that at
ever
all.
would guess that because of everything I do. Like, again, I work in a restaurant. I'm around people. I do comedy. I have the podcast. But when push comes to shove, I like to be by myself.
Yeah.
Like, I love being alone. For me, like going... I perceive everything in comedy as work because it is our job. And that's, I moved across the country, not because it's a hobby, but because this is what I want my life to be.
Right.
So I treat it as such.
Yeah.
So like when I go to hang at like the Stand or the Cellar or Greenwich Village Comedy Club or something, in my head, I'm like, you could just stay home.
Wow.
You don't have to go.
Wow.
But then I'm like, no, you have to go. Like, it's a part of your routine. It's a part of what you do. So then I go and I hang and I have a great time and I'll book people on this podcast and it's like, we're schmoozing, we're having fun.
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm like, I would much rather be home playing Xbox, like or cutting clips or not being here, which nobody ever suspects because when I'm there, I'm like, well, we're here, so we're going to make the most of it.
Right.
So it is funny that you say you like to break introverts because my whole thing, though, is like if I'm out and I'm having a conversation, sometimes I get in trouble because I want to know. Like, I'm a very curious individual.
Yeah.
So, like, I'll be talking to, like, bigger comics. And I'll be like, oh, well, like, we'll be talking about social media or a gig. And I'll be like, well, how much should they pay? Like, is the manager any good? Like, how's the booker? Like, and I'm asking all these questions where it's like, oh, that's kind of uncouth. Like, you're not supposed to, like, but in my head, I'm like, no, I want to know.
But you want to know.
Yeah.
Which is like, that shouldn't be such a weird thing.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, the best kind of people are the most curious people. Always the most curious people. And like, I think it's, I even view, and this is like so human psychology kind of thing, but it's like when I do this for like most people, especially for people I don't know. the question I ask people is not like, how's it going? I'll ask like, how are you feeling?
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
a
a
good one,
really
yeah.
small change, but it usually gets people to be like, oh, like, how am I feeling? Not how's it going? Because how's it going? You're good. We're all good.
We're all good.
We're all good.
It's all good.
Dude, when I'm at my worst, you go, how's it going? I go, great.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, and this is something that used to happen to me with my family because I am a twin, and me and my twin are the youngest of, like, between step siblings and actual siblings, like 6 kids.
Wow.
So it is an interesting thing where it's like, I'm always, and you've done the podcast, like you've seen my stand up. I'm always incredibly open.
Yeah.
Because again, this goes back to like me always being a loner. Like I was a loner even in a big family. I was always by myself. I was always the guy who wanted to be by myself. So it is an interesting thing because I'm very open because every decision I've made in my life has been my decision and I take full responsibility for that.
Yeah.
So I don't mind talking about what I've done.
Right.
And sometimes people in my family will be like, yo, can you pull it back a fucking little bit?
Crazy.
And I'm like,
crazy.
And like, I used to get in this conversation all the time because my uncle, who I've talked about on the show before, who was the one who like helped me get into college and like looked after me when my alcoholism got really bad and was like always trying to help me and still to this day is very influential in my life.
Yeah.
It's so funny because he'll be like, hey, when your siblings ask you how you're doing, just say good. If you have a problem, call me.
Whoa.
Because what ends up happening in a big family is I tell my twin sister, I feel like shit, like everything's spiraling out of control, like I'm having a manic episode, I don't know what to do. The next thing you know, I'm getting 19 calls from like my grandma, my mom, my dad.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, Brennan's, because also being an alcoholic and being sober for a while, everyone immediately goes to worst case.
Right.
So it's like
Right.
Brennan's flying, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for just talking about this right now. But it is an interesting thing because like people in my family will be like, you got something going on, you call me because I'm not going to tell anybody. We'll work through it together.
Yeah.
Don't tell your sister who wants to tell everybody in the family. Don't tell your
Right.
dad who's going to be like, what's
Right.
happening? Like, just talk to me.
Right.
So it is interesting when you say try to break an introvert because
Right.
it's like, I'm the guy who's like, you don't have to break me. I'll tell you. I'm right here.
You're the textbook anomaly of introverts.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
because
incredible.
We
That's
deal with a
incredible.
lot of them where they're very much like, yeah, I'm fine. And that is
Yeah.
one of my favorite things because being a curious individual, it is one of my favorite things to kind of like break through.
Yeah.
And like figure, like Eric Walsh is probably the biggest one.
Oh yeah.
Just because he's
Yeah.
always like his comedy is it's fantastic. Like he cracks me up.
Yeah.
But it is interesting because it's one of those things where it's kind of reflective of his life, but also at the end of it, you're kind of like, I don't know if I learned a lot. I learned a lot about what you've done, but I don't know if I know a
Right.
lot about you personally.
Right, you're like still an enigma.
Yeah, so
And
it's like
just-
you're still
just
yeah.
like, what is going? You're so tall. How do you really feel about that?
So it is an interesting because sometimes I will talk to him and then he'll mention something and I'll be like, fucking another. I'm gonna write that down. Another little nugget I know about
Have
the
a wall-
white swan.
You have a Walsh notes section.
Yeah, no, I really do because it is like when he talks about playing basketball, and I like because to look at him, I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, you were an athlete, but then he talks about, and it's like, and then you see him like do those like parody videos of him like playing basketball by himself, and you're like, oh yeah, you probably could ball a little bit, and then he talks about
Yeah.
like dunking, and I'm like, could you really dunk? And he's like, yeah, and I'm like, this is
Whoa.
crazy.
It's like you barely move
Yeah.
on stage.
So it is interesting
Yeah.
when you can kind of like get in the or like get into the headspace of some of the comics who are just very almost they seem like, and they don't even do it on purpose, but they just seem like separate from everyone else because
Yes.
they want to sit by themselves or they'll talk to you, but only if you initiate. They're not walking in like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So it is fun to be like to kind of like peel back that layer and be like, tell me a little bit more about
Yes,
you.
yes. Well, you know what's okay. You know what's actually so interesting. I just want to bring up one more comic.
No,
book.
yeah,
It's a
keep-
good example of
this
this.
is
Is
fun.
like so. One of my very good friends, Zach DiDonato.
Oh,
he's
love
like-
Zach.
I love Zach.
Friend of the show.
Zach DiDonato. There you go. Shout out to Zach.
Talked about
He's-
playing soccer with fucking Nash, Steve Nash.
I did not know that.
NBA MVP Steve
I
Nash.
did not know that, but
Yeah.
weirdly, that doesn't shock me. I bring him up as an example of someone who much like yourself, is like when he talks to other people, he remembers things. He's like
Yeah.
a very curious person, but he remembers things. Like he'll ask people things, and then just like a year later, he'll like check in or whatever. Like
do the same,
well,
yeah.
he checks in well before a year later, but he remembers details about people, and I'm like, that's such. Not only is that just a great skill for comedy, like when you connecting with people and you remember where they're from and so you can reach out to them if you need advice or whatever. But it's just a life skill. Like just you're
Yeah.
like you're curious about people and you remember things. And he's probably has one of the best like individual person memories that I've encountered.
Well, I find it fascinating too sometimes because I'll see a comic I haven't seen in a while, and I'll be like, "Oh, how's the whatever?" And they'll be like, "What?" I'm like, the thing you were doing with the thing.
Yeah.
And they're like, I even forgot I was doing that. And I'm like, oh, I remember.
Yeah.
But it is, it's a line from that movie Hitch with Will Smith, but he was like, he's writing on the board when he's doing like in the montage in the beginning, he's like, don't just hear, listen and respond.
Yeah.
Because especially with comics, a lot of it is counting the seconds till I can talk again.
Yes.
So they're not even listening to what you're saying.
Yes.
And one of my biggest pet peeves in life, and I don't know if the listeners share this, and let me know if you do as well, is when someone asks a question and you start to answer it, and then they immediately either get distracted or change the subject. Or this happens a lot with someone who's very close to me in my life, who I won't mention because she'll get really mad. But when we go to visit with their family, I won't say who it is again, but a lot of times it's a lot of that. They'll be like, so how's comedy going? And then they'll be like, hey, did you take the thing out of the oven? And I'm like, I'm going to fucking lose it, man. Because, again, to your point, it's like when you're talking to me, I take it all in. I listen. I respond. And because the connection is what's so important to me. Because, like, again, I would rather be by myself. But if we're going to be here, we're going to fucking be here. We're going to do it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to talk about the weather. I want to talk about something more intricate than that, more intimate than that.
Yeah.
So that is, I don't know how you feel about it, but Zach is a good, that story is a good reminder of like, he's one of those people where he doesn't count the he listens to what you're saying.
He's a great listener. I think it's a lot of like, there's a couple touch points here as well, which I'll like, so like I started improv. I used to do improv, right? And,
you talked to me. Yeah.
So
when you said started improv, I was like,
oh, no.
Again?
Absolutely
interesting.
Not. Absolutely.
Yeah,
not.
you did start an improv. Yeah.
Right. So but I remember like my dad who used to act a bit, he or a decent amount actually, and he gives like great advice, like very understated but very wise advice when it comes to performing. And the biggest thing that they I don't think they actually teach you this well in improv from what I've seen. Maybe they improv places that I've done improv at would probably argue otherwise, but I think like it is like, it's like the acting is reacting. Listen to everything, because you like in improv especially, you're supposed to play to the top of your intelligence, so you're supposed to react authentically based on like you and or your character, the way that they would react. But if you listen well, like that makes your life so much easier. Like if you just focus on listening. I mean, there's nothing more profound than that. It's literally just listen and like take in. And like I'm fascinated by body language. I read this book about body language. It sounds like the body language equivalent of like the pickup artist or whatever. Like it's really not like, it's not my vibe. But I read this book about body language from this like former FBI like criminal interrogator or something. It's like how everybody speaks, or it's some play on words, whatever. Very clever. And the book was talking about the giveaways that we all have with our body language. And it's like once I like talk about this with people, some people get like kind of off put because they're like, oh,
are you watching me?
Are you watching? Right. And it's like the two I think actually the funniest, I'll use the funny example. I'm not going to go through all the examples that the book gave, but I think the funniest example of body language that is like a quiet giveaway is the way that you stand with your hands in your pockets. Wait, can I stand up?
Yeah.
This?
Go ahead.
Okay, you ready? So this the book says that if you stand like this with your like thumb out of your pocket, basically, and for the listener, just envision yourself. If you have pockets, envision this. If you don't have pockets,
thumb out.
Yeah,
hand half in, thumb out.
Hand half in, thumb out. Like you're standing very casually, that projects confidence. And if you stand with your
thumb in the pocket, hand
out, that projects like a lack of confidence.
Wow.
And like I don't know how true that is. I don't know, but the book said it. And the book said it, so it's gospel. And so I think it's always, and that's the thing. So
that's
it's like,
because when you stood up and talked about, because I was always told growing up, especially in the South, it was like, take your hands out of your pockets. Like you don't stand with your hands in your pockets.
Yes.
So when I'm on the subway, I always have my hands in my pocket. I've had my hands in my pockets all the time. I do it on stage now, like constantly.
Yeah.
Because I used to do this tick where I would rub my face, which I still do. But now I tried to stop doing that. So now it's turned into my hand just in my pocket while I'm telling my stories, which is way worse. You can't seem more disinterested in what you're doing than with your hand in your pocket just standing by the mic stand. Especially because I'm like a higher energy kind of comedian.
Right,
so when I'm just standing there like, yeah, so, and I'm like, but when you said hand in the pocket, I was like, fuck. It's going to be this whole thing about like, never put your hands in your pockets. But then when you said thumb out, I was like, that's how I stand.
Yeah, dude, look at models. Look at models, like clothing models, like guy clothing
Zach
models.
DiDonato.
Zach DiDonato, the model. Like, look at the way that they stand in ads. I can almost guarantee
It's always
that
half in, thumb out.
like other 4 fingers in. I guess if you have all your fingers, and then I don't know why you wouldn't. Sorry if you don't.
Listen, there's a lot of people out there, Skyler. No.
and then the thumb out, and it's like it apparently makes a difference. But the other big thing, and I'll stop going into body language, but I swear to God, the other big thing is, so I used to play baseball, right? Which we talked about last time.
Yeah.
I used to play baseball, and
Career cut short by a prom party.
by a prom party. Check out that episode for context. In fact, I'm not even gonna give any context. You just have to listen to the prior episode.
It was a disaster.
Junior prom ended my baseball career, but
And you were good.
I was
if it wasn't
so
for the
good.
damn injuries.
Oh God, I was so good. I'm making eye contact with the camera. I was so good. But
You blew out the
I'll
shoulder.
digress, dude. I'll digress, whatever. But I
Now look at us. Living in New York doing a podcast in a kitchen.
which is a step up.
Yeah,
Step
we moved everything around.
It looks
so
great. It
Thank
looks
you.
great.
Got my Star Wars encyclopedia next to my AA book.
Whoa, fascinating opposite things. Well, Star Wars is not the opposite of alcohol, but you know. Anyway,
Sports.
I had a coach when I was 15, and he told me to never cross my arms ever because it meant you weren't ready. And like I thought that, you know, like on a field you're not supposed to cross your arms, like, you know, because you're not ready. But I actually for whatever reason it got in my head, I was like, don't ever do that anywhere for any reason whatsoever.
That's how I am with the pockets.
So until literally probably April or May this year, I just did not cross my arms when I was talking to anyone. I didn't cross my arms at all.
Well, it is like a
defensive
closed off.
stance.
Yeah.
It's a defensive stance.
Yeah, and it is the body language thing, especially from sports, is one of those things where it's so obvious, especially if you know. I think even for the layman who never played sports in their life but watches a lot of sports, you can tell immediately when someone's like, I go through this as a Jags fan. Brian Thomas Jr., who's like our star wide receiver, this year in the last 2 games, his body language has been brutal. Really? And it's because Trevor Lawrence is throwing hospital balls and like he threw one in the preseason, like over the middle, got him almost in the preseason, got him like rocked.
Kidding?
Yeah. So now he's like not even like he'll like run, throw his hand up and be like, nah, I'm not even going to go for it.
Oh my God.
But as someone who played sports my whole life, and also to your point, the body language thing, you're like, oh, this is bad because you're telling me everything I need to know without even telling me anything.
Yeah.
And you can tell that on stage. This is something that it's interesting because I have a lot of friends, comic friends, who are so funny, but their body language is just so defensive.
Yeah.
That you're like, these jokes are good, but you don't look like you belong.
Yeah.
And I've been like that. The first 2 jokes bomb, and then I clam up, and I'm like, not moving. I'm standing in one position, hands in the pockets, and I'm like, hey guys, so what's going on? But it's fascinating how much you can tell about a person's. And that's why when I talk to people, I remember one of the first couple of dates, Tracy, my fiance, and I went on. We went to meet her friend Camille. Yeah. And when I went to meet her, I was like talking to her and I was like engaged and asking questions. And I'll never forget this. At the end of the meal, I text Tracy later and I was like, how'd I do? And she goes, oh, she felt like she was on a date with you because you were so engaged. Whoa. And I was like, got him.
Yeah.
But it is so important in life, just as a life skill, just to be engaged with people and not be like, I don't want to.
I'm with you.
Look at us. Look at us. We're all over the place. I wanted to have you back on because towards the end of your last episode, you had mentioned you went away to Europe for a while while you were in college.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to get more in depth in the Europe story because I know you said, because I think your words were, that's a whole other thing. And I was like, well, then you're going to come back and we're going to talk about it. So set the scene, set it up. So you weren't a big partier. Then you kind of, like you had mentioned, the after proms. You started drinking. The first time you drank was, I believe, on the Long Island Railroad going into the city or something like that. The Metro North. Yeah, Metro North.
Jetting down on the Metro North.
Yeah, and that was the first time you drank, and everyone was drinking, and you were just partying with everybody.
Yeah.
And then when you got into college, you said it got a little more aggressive because you weren't obviously playing baseball anymore and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And then you had mentioned a trip to Europe. So set the scene.
Right.
Why are you going? How does this even come up? Where do you come up with the money? Like, I want to go through everything before you even got there till the end of the trip.
Yes. Okay. So that summary is elite. Basically, I drank a decent amount my freshman year, and then after my freshman year, I don't know if I mentioned this in the first episode, I had to get an endoscopy because I kept giving myself gastritis. Right. The doctors were like, "You're weak. Stop doing that." And
You're weak.
They were like, "You're weak. Stop doing it." And so what happened is they basically.
Sorry, I panicked. I thought the recorder wasn't on.
Oh no! Thank God, we're good. I think we're good.
So
right.
endoscopy, you're weak.
Endoscopy, you're weak.
Oh
no, you're good.
And then I was like, let me interrupt him.
Oh, dude, not at all. No worries. I got an endoscopy. They were like, stop drinking. I stopped drinking my sophomore year. COVID hit. I drank a little tiny bit during the pandemic, but I was very wary of my body. I had to take like omeprazole and stuff to coat my stomach, and it was a whole thing.
Well, and that was a big thing we talked about on your first episode, but the doctors being like, you can't drink, and you're like, okay, I guess I'm just not going to drink. And I was like, that's an insane thought for me.
Right.
Because I went to the hospital with alcohol poisoning. They're like, you can't drink. And I was like, fuck off. You can't doctor. How about that? How you like that?
You can't doctor is incredible.
You quack. So
also bring back calling doctors quacks. I mean, that's
right?
a great phrase. It's a great phrase.
My fiance's dad's a doctor, and I remember I was doing a show in front of them in Cambridge, and I pulled the step brothers line, where I was like, oh, if comedy doesn't work out, at least her dad's a doctor, so I can go into the family business. And I took it from a movie because I have that bit about taking movie lines.
Yeah.
Nobody had seen Step Brothers apparently, and they were like, bah! And I was like, that's Adam McKay's. That's not mine. That's Adam McKay, dude. I was like, this is a house of learned doctors.
This is my line. This is my line. that's
Shout out Adam McKay. Thanks for the bailout on that.
What a G.
So you're not drinking during the pandemic. You drink a little bit.
Right.
What do you mean by a little bit though? Because a little bit for me is a lot different, I think, than a little bit for you.
I truly would maybe
a beer or have one night where you went crazy.
Like a beer. I mean, because I was living at home for a bit, and then went back to college, and I drank it. It's actually funnily enough, October of my junior year, which was like smack in the middle of the pandemic. It was like, it was October 2020.
Damn.
And I actually remember I went to this Halloween party, which very ill-advised, and I drank a ton, and I threw up.
On all the medications and stuff?
Yeah. Well, because I hadn't been diagnosed yet, but so I was on anti-anxiety medication at that point, and so I drank and I just threw up a bunch, and that was not super fun. It was fun until I threw up.
So when did you get diagnosed
with bipolar?
No. We talked about that. When did you get
anxiety.
diagnosed with the gastritis and stuff? Was that after?
That was after my
because we talked about the bipolar and the anxiety and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. So it was right after my freshman year. Right at the end of my freshman year was when I had like gastritis. Was when I saw a doctor, and they like officially were like, "This is what it is."
Okay.
But
so then from your freshman year. And then all the way to your junior year, the pandemic, you have all that stuff going on, you're on medication. So then when you go back for your junior year, are you no longer taking the medication for your stomach?
Yes, that's correct. No, that's correct. I was like, from what
so
I
you're
recall,
like, I'm good, I'm cleared.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to this Halloween party and act like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was like a multi-tiered like apartment. It was super dope. And then people were giving me
we talked about this last time. Yeah.
And so so then I threw up. It was the only other time I think that I've thrown up from drinking outside of my in high school. That whole story that you gotta watch the last episode to remember. But point being, didn't drink much during the pandemic. My senior year, the pandemic bled into like the entirety of my senior year, but I really was not drinking my senior year. So I wasn't really going out at all. And the end of the year came, like we have this like huge like slope day party is the name of it at Cornell, and like it's like they bring huge musical artists to it and whatever, and it's a day for everyone to like black out.
And everyone day drinks. We talked.
Right. And so then it didn't. I didn't even drink that day, which is kind of a bummer. But then also like real quick. the person, the headliner was Amine, this guy Amine.
Okay.
And I didn't know any of his music. Apparently he's very famous, and I didn't know any of his songs. And I was with my roommate, who I'm about to bring up in a much broader sense. He's one of my best friends. He was my senior roommate at the time, and we both went to the concert, and we were both like, we don't even know Amine. So then we left. We left after one song. We were like, this is insane. Like the whole campus.
I love also how you go, we didn't know any of his music, and then shortly after that you followed up with, after one song we're like, we're out of here. It's like, you only listen to one song.
You're right, it wasn't a fair read.
You weren't very into trying to figure out if you. This is like when Kendrick Lamar did the halftime show, and I'm sitting in here with my fiance and all her friends, and everyone's like, I don't even know this because they didn't know the first song, and then Humble came on, and they're like, oh no, I know this.
I know this guy.
I know this guy.
Yeah.
I was like, first of all, everyone needs to know Kendrick Lamar, but second of all,
Agreed.
And then Not Like Us came on, and everyone's like, and I was like, wait, 3 songs ago, you're like, I don't even know who this is. Who is this?
Yeah. No, I certainly did not give Amine a fair shot. But, fortunately for him, millions and millions of other people did.
They have.
And so he's
that is
doing
like
just
us
fine.
in comedy when I'm like, oh, so-and-so's on the podcast. And then people are like, who? And I'm like, they're very, very famous. They're very, very famous. Like, because we did this friends and family thing at work.
Yeah.
And they invited like influencers, I guess food influencers.
Yeah.
And I looked at their following, and I was like, I have almost more followers than them.
Yeah.
I was like, you guys realize I'm personal friends with people who have like millions of. Why don't you ask me to bring my famous friends?
Yeah. You're like, yeah. Also,
And they're
I
like, I never heard of them. And I'm like, but millions of people have.
It's crazy.
I think you're missing the point here.
That's crazy.
So
right. So get to the end of the year, I graduate, and towards the end of the year, I went to my roommate. His name's Matt.
Shout out Matt.
Shout out Matt. I love him to death. And so we were like, you know what? We're about to graduate. I didn't have a job lined up. I don't think he had a job lined up at that point, or maybe he did, and it was the whole story. Lost it, got a different job, whatever. But we were like, let's go to Europe. We were like, you know what? Let's do the.
Whose idea was it?
I was probably mine.
Okay.
I will likely take credit for that. Matt could correct me offline.
Why Europe?
I think I feel like it's a very like quintessential like post grad experience, and it's like, okay, I'd never really traveled.
You
like,
say that, but I wasn't allowed to have a passport after I graduated.
Super
so
fair.
I wasn't allowed to.
Super fair. This
I
man
wasn't
is an
allowed to
anomaly
travel,
in lots of different ways.
The state government of Florida was like, yeah, you're not fucking going anywhere, dude. But it's quintessential. Going to Europe on a vacation is quintessential.
And I
don't have any money. Yes, I am a convicted felon, but it's quintessential.
Oh God, it's so tone deaf. On my part, I will say that it's the most.
I didn't even mean to do that. I just thought it was funny because I'm a piece of shit.
Wait, moment of self-awareness, tone deaf. However, I will say it's also the most obnoxious thing you can do, and then proceed to talk about outside of studying abroad.
And that's what we're going to talk about
That's
today.
what we're going to talk about. And I think maybe the story will be a tale of redemption for myself, because what happened is Matt.
So
and I,
you go to Matt and you go, Matt.
We gotta go.
Fucking
to Europe.
great idea. Let's go to Europe.
Let's go to Europe.
Where? Because again, you know me. I love little details. Where? When you said go to Europe, did you say Europe, or were you like, let's check out like Spain and France, England? Like, what was your idea?
We had like honestly.
I don't think you're going to Belarus.
No. We had
Shout out Eastern Europe.
Shout out Belarus. A lot of shout out Belarus. That's so funny. We basically just wrote down a list of countries, and I was like, we're gonna do a couple weeks. We'll pick what feels like the right number of days. It's like, oh, okay, like we know we just did 4 years at this college. Like we got, like let's explore a little bit. The stakes are low right now. Let's just go like have a good time with each other. And so we like mapped out all these countries. We decided on these are cities, not countries. We decided on Dublin, Amsterdam, Berlin, and Copenhagen.
Okay.
Which is very cool, hip places. Places where drinking is extraordinarily encouraged.
Dublin, Amsterdam, Copenhagen, and Berlin.
Yeah. And so we just settled on those 4 countries, and I'm very like logistically.
That's interesting. You're not hitting any of the cities. London, Paris out, Barcelona out, Madrid out.
Yeah, we were just like, let's try, because neither of us had been to any of these, and we were like,
was the partying an aspect of why you chose these cities?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I don't know.
These are all big party cities.
Yeah. I mean,
especially Berlin and Amsterdam, I think would be at the top of the list.
Right.
Berlin
exactly.
with a bullet.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Berlin is fucking nuts. From what I've heard. from what I've heard.
It's well, then
And what
yeah.
I'm about to hear.
Then what? Yeah. So we chose these 4 countries. We mapped it out. I'm very like logistically minded. Like I really respect the people who buy a one-way ticket to a foreign country.
The Ari
and then are
Shafir
like,
model.
Yeah, and they're just like, what do you?
Psychos, yeah.
They're like, yeah, I'll just figure it out from there. I'm like, no, you won't.
That's a great Ari Shafir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just figure it out from there.
No, I was gonna do it. That's fine.
I was gonna do it.
It's very spontaneous. I'm like, no, you're not spontaneous. You're dumb.
Exactly.
You're dumb.
I'm also a big believer in plans. I like to have at least a loose outline. I tell people this all the time because I'm very rigid.
Yeah. Yes, me too.
Especially in my sobriety, but it's like I like to have like a loose outline. Like every day, it's not like I have to go to the gym at this time, but I know I have to go to the gym sometime during the day. You know what I mean? So it's not, I'm not super rigid, but I am not like autistic rigid, but I am like, okay, we got to get these things done today.
Yes.
So when are we going to do them?
Right. So we planned out like the whole thing. We planned out the dates and the hostels. Oh yeah. So we were doing hostels. So we were like, all right, we're going to meet all these people, whatever. And so we fly out to Dublin, and
Is this the order in which you did it?
we did Dublin, Amsterdam, Berlin, Copenhagen.
So this is the order in which you did it. All
Yes, yeah. So we started in Dublin, which is like a relatively shorter flight. We both take a red eye. We take separate planes actually. And I
right. Up to a great start.
yeah.
I'll meet you there.
You know, it's funny.
We're
It's
flying
like,
across an
we
ocean.
take-
I'll meet you there.
It's like the Coca-Cola thing where like the two, like the CEO and like the VP can't fly in the
Yeah,
same
on
plane.
the
I'm
same-
like, if one of us dies, the other one still has to enjoy it. It's like we already put down the deposits.
It's like what parents do to make sure their
Right.
kids have one parent left if God forbid something happens.
Right, exactly. I'm like, yeah, one of us has to drink in Dublin. It's important. So
Quintessential, some might
It's
say.
quintessential. It's quintessential. I love that word now.
I was going to name the title European Vacation, but now it might be It's Quintessential.
It's quintessential. I like that a lot. It's quintessential. Shout out to Belarus. But anyway, so we touched down, and
Who gets there first?
I think I did.
Okay.
I think I did. Or we tried to. So Matt's from Boston, so we flew out of Logan. So
Okay.
we basically split after like graduating, and then 3 days later.
Okay, so you're flying out of here, he's flying out of there,
Boston.
yeah, got
right.
it.
So we both.
Okay, so the separate flight things wasn't like you guys are hanging out at JFK and then you're like, all right, I'm out of here. I think it was because you were in different areas.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could have just been like, you know what, you got to go to Newark.
My initial reaction to why it was so odd was because I literally thought you guys like
thought-
showed up to JFK together and you're like, all right, you're on the 415, I'm on the 355. I'll see you there, kid.
I'm like, yeah, this is going to be insufferable. Let's spend a time apart as much as we can before we have to spend 2 weeks together in the same room.
Especially in hostels, you're like sleeping on top of each other.
Yeah. So we basically, so we fly out, we meet each other, and I can't remember whether it was prior to going to the trip or when I got there, but I made the decision. I had not drank for most of the year, almost the entire year, and I had just been like, you know what? I'm not going to listen to anything my body says. I'm going to drink nonstop for 2 weeks.
We're going to enjoy this trip.
We're going to enjoy this trip. So we get to Dublin.
What better way to enjoy it than to be miserable the entire time?
Precisely, and that is great foreshadowing. We drank every single day.
I have a bit about this, but it's like people are always like, yeah, you lost a lot of weight. It's like, yeah, do you know how hard it was to gain that? Do you know how hard it is to wake up hungover and be like, we're doing it again? It takes the fucking heart of a champion.
Oh no, I mean you have the stamina of an animal, dude,
Yeah.
and that's what I've always striven to have, you know.
So you land in Dublin.
We landed in Dublin after an overnight flight, which we do not sleep. I don't sleep at all on the plane, and I'm like, well, that's also great foreshadowing. So we go, like, we're just exhausted. We go check into our hostel, and then we go like get a meal.
So there's no nap. There's no like, we'll check in, get like 10, 20, 30 minutes.
No. We just go
In, check in, drop the bags, we're out of here.
Yeah, we go, and it's like mid morning or it's like lunchtime. We go and we eat like
because they're 6 hours ahead too. So by the time you land,
it's like
Yeah.
we landed probably like 7
You left
in
it like-
the morning.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
We left it overnight. So and it's probably like 5 hours there, maybe 5-6 there. And so we land, we go get food. I have a Guinness immediately, which you have to.
are you? Because you were talking about it before, but you haven't really traveled outside of your kind of circle your whole life. So are you freaking out
Well, so
to be in Dublin?
So I had like taken trips with my family prior, but never as independent as this one. So like we
So
like
you had
traveled.
been outside and traveled a lot.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but I had never been like, I'm just gonna go do my own thing. And so my parents were like, make sure you check in on us, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, you really want us to check in the state we're gonna be in? Like, fine.
Mom, I love you. You're the best mom ever. I just want you to know that. What? No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yup.
You're in Berlin. It's like,
Yeah. I'm like,
Mom's like, what's going on? Nothing, Mom. We're having a good time.
yep, we're having fun. We're having fun. Mom, love you, Mom.
I'm alive.
Love you, Mom.
Just send a text. I'm alive. Like every 7 hours.
It's virtually what happened. And so we proceed to drink every single day. I mean, we
What
drank-
happened? And we'll get into the broader strokes, but you
Yeah.
land, you get a Guinness immediately, you guys go to lunch. What is that first day like? Because you're fucking exhausted.
Tired.
Your body can't handle, just from a physiological standpoint, your body can't handle a ton of alcohol already.
Right.
So are you like Guinness after Guinness after Guinness, or do you have like one and you're hanging out, or
So
do you like hit the ground running?
It gets progressively more intense alcohol-wise as the trip gets progresses, but I think we just kind of explored. Like, I'll be honest, man. Like, and I'll say two things very candidly. One, I love Irish people. You guys are fun. You guys are so fun.
best.
They're the best. They're the
Quote
best.
Braveheart,
hangs.
insane Irish.
That's great. I wish I could do. I took a dialects course one time.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was. And they
I
were
just
like,
watched
we're gonna do-
Braveheart a lot.
I've never. I'm probably gonna save money by watching Braveheart. 'Cause we
Up
did
the fucking
Irish-
rah.
It's
Oh, and the what's his name when he spirals out of control? The MMA fighter.
Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor. Yeah.
Conor
Is he
McGregor.
running for president of?
Who fucking
I don't
knows?
have no idea. That's what I thought for a second. But I'm just out there just doing the quintessential Irish
Of course.
activities.
Are you meeting people?
Yes. Oh my God. And wherever I go, I'm most extroverted. So like, I'm talking to all these random people, talking to people in the hostel. You know what? Actually, the first person we met. This is not quite foreshadowing, but the first person Matt and I met in the hostel was this girl, and we're like, hey, we just got in. Like, great to meet you. Where are you from? And she goes, I'm from Turkey. And we go, oh, that's super cool.
Shout out
like,
Belarus.
you know, and she, shout out Belarus. And she goes, I'm from Turkey. We're like, that's awesome. She goes, where are you from? And Matt goes first. He goes, I'm from Boston. And she goes, I hate Boston. and
Fuck do you know,
that's-
Turkey?
That's it.
Yeah, well, I'm more of a ham person, so go fuck yourself.
I was like, what?
Why does she hate Boston?
She didn't give any reason. She just kind of turned away and kept.
She just said, "I hate Boston," and she's probably beautiful too.
Yeah.
Those Eastern European
No, it
girls
was
are
sad. It was
hot.
sad. People are really hot until they hate Boston.
And you were like, "Yeah, I fucking hate it too."
I was like, yeah, I could get into hate.
I hate Boston.
Yeah.
Matt, go fuck yourself. So, what do you know?
I'm actually from non-Boston.
Yeah,
I'm from the opposite of
I'm
Boston.
from the other place.
Yeah. What do you think is the opposite of Boston? Because I'm from there.
So that was your first introduction.
That was my first
But-
interaction in a hostel, and I was like, not everybody's social
Yeah.
in a hostel, which is weird. Then why are you doing that? Whatever.
That is a good point, though. Like, why are you staying in a hostel with a bunch of young people who are obviously like touring this world on a budget? Like, don't be a dick.
Yeah. It's like you gotta be open-minded when you're traveling in hostels, and like
Yeah, if you're staying at the Ritz, then yeah, I get it. Nobody talk to you. I understand that.
Right.
Because we know a lot of comics who do that. Now that they've made it, they stay at like the Four Seasons, and they're like, don't fucking talk to me.
yeah. I'm like, what?
You're at a hostel.
Yeah.
You're from Turkey. Nothing against Turkey. I'm Eastern European myself, but like, come on.
I was like, what are we doing?
You're from
What are we
Barcelona.
doing? Yeah. And those people, the Catalonian like pronunciation when you're not from Catalonia, the worst
They hate it.
people. The worst people. But so we like hung out the first day. There's not really the other thing I was gonna say outside of loving the Irish is there's really nothing to do in Dublin other than drink. It's bar crawls. There's a post office museum. What are we doing, Ireland? That's like one of the main.
I love museums.
The post office museum. Just think about that for a second. It's a post office.
You think about it for a second. It's an island, but they managed to get all this mail from all over the world, everywhere. How did they do that?
That's a really good point. You know what? I changed.
You're no less curious than you should be.
I am not open-minded. I'm not open-minded, and that's what we've learned.
No, but especially a post-college trip to the UK.
I was
you're
like, can you bring alcohol into the post office museum? Like,
Probably.
What are we,
It's Europe.
It's
Ireland.
It's Ireland.
So
So we're just like exploring. The most notable thing, because it gets more notable as the trip goes on, but Ireland, I think the big highlight was Matt and I took for fun. There's a Scientology museum there, and we went to the Scientology museum.
It's a weird place.
Oh, it's a weird place, and we went in
Dublin. That's an odd.
I know, it's right by I think Temple Bar, which is like the really famous bar, but it's like in that area. So we went to the Scientology museum, and we were like, hey, what can we do here? And they were like, do you want to see whether or not you'd be a good fit for our community? And I was like, 100%. So they give you this massive exam, and they go and they like it's
do a reading, like the whole thing, right?
Yeah, it's like an SAT thing basically. Like, so they and you can just go in and they just give you this large sheet of paper, and it's like 100 or 200 multiple choice questions, and the questions they put you in this room and they separate you from the other people. You don't want to cheat on the Scientology exam. Of course, you can't cheat on the Scientology exam, frankly. And so you're so the exam is basically like asking questions that are like, would you rather? It's like, are you a follower or are you a leader? And if you're a leader, you would not fit in the Scientology community.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they want you to be like a sheep.
That's true.
Know? So it's like all the questions are like, how you
most religions, I would assume, are like that.
Yeah, if you give any test of religion, it's not going to be like, are you?
So I'm like, there's one shepherd, everyone else.
Right. Would you consider yourself Jesus or not quite? If you're not quite, then you're a perfect fit for Catholicism.
That is a funny way to look at it. Are you Jesus? No? Okay, come on.
Yeah.
God, the ball's on someone to be like, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Son
I'm
of
Jesus.
God.
I'm Jesus. They're like, all right, well, go start.
Aren't we all
your own
Jesus
thing.
though? Isn't Jesus inside all of us?
Jesus inside of all of us. Yeah, and it's special. That's really special. Shout out to Jesus.
So you went to Scientology.
So I went to Scientology. We took this exam, and
Are you drunk taking this exam?
What's up?
Are you drinking? Because you had been drinking, right?
I think I was relatively sober, but I was exhausted.
Okay.
So I might as well have been drunk.
Yeah.
And so I'm taking this exam, and I'm answering all the questions, and I'm kind of like, oh, like I don't remember exactly my answers what they were, but like
you did the whole thing?
Yeah.
What a vacation.
I know. It was like 100. It was like took like 30 minutes, and then
Surprised you throw down the pen and be like, I'm out of here.
No, I was like,
let's go.
That phrase, that's an awesome phrase, and I'm still learning exactly what that means. But I think it's just chugging temporarily, right? Split the G.
No. When you pour a Guinness, there's a G on the glass, and you want to split the G between the head of the beer and the beer itself.
That is really helpful.
You want to get it right in the center. It's called splitting the G.
That's incredible.
It's very hard to do.
Yeah, we gotta. Wow. Yeah.
You can learn a lot from books, people. Books and podcasting.
That's incredible.
I'm like Will Hunting in this.
Yeah.
And you're like Robin Williams.
Thank you so much.
Where you're like, you might know a lot, but you've never been out of Boston.
I'm like, you're just a kid.
Yeah.
You've never.
You know what occurred to me? You're just a kid.
Just a kid.
You've probably never been outside of Boston. Nope.
It's the only line I remember from that speech. I remember the camera angles, but not the speech.
God, such a good speech.
Such a good speech.
You can't tell me what it smells like inside the Sistine Chapel.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna cry right now thinking about it.
That's so good.
But yeah, that's where splitting the G comes from.
Got it. Okay. So we finished the exam, and then we go up to the front, and we're so excited, like to potentially be a part of your community, And she's
Just
like,
improv kicking in.
Yeah, I'm like, we're
yes
yes-anding.
and.
We're like, yeah, like thank you. We really appreciate this opportunity, and we give her the papers, and she's like, all right, so we'll give you your results. That'll be $50 each. And we're like, we are not going to join the Scientology community.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what it is. She literally was like, you won't get your results unless you pay. And I was like,
You're like, all right, cool.
I was like, well, that was the 30 minutes. Honestly, pretty well spent for the purposes of talking about it right now.
Yeah.
So it was
You
incredible.
almost were in Scientology.
Almost were a part
If it
of
wasn't for
Scientology.
that pesky $50 cover.
Shout out Tom Cruise. But he's a Scientology guy, I think. So is Chloe Fineman, right? She's a Scientology as well.
I'm not sure about her. I know Tom Cruise. I know.
Who else?
What's his name with
Maybe
the planes? John Travolta, big into Scientology. They made that movie.
Right. I don't know why I heard Chloe Fineman somewhere, but she may not be. But
maybe.
yeah, Tom Cruise for sure.
Yeah.
And
Which a lot of people give Tom Cruise a bad rap, but I've heard a lot of stories about him on set, and he knows everyone's name, like not just the director and the other actors, like the grips and stuff. He'll be like, "Hey, Skyler, how's your mom doing? Did she get that surgery?" And you'll be like holding a boom mic, like, "Yeah, she's good, Tom. Thanks for asking."
Oh my god.
So a lot of people, and like he's really like, gets all this shit for being like all up all the time, but it's like, Yeah, I'd rather have that than a fucking dickhead.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. We'd rather have a kind Scientologist
Yeah.
than a piece of shit atheist.
Yeah, right? And most of you are pieces of shit.
So anyway, so Dublin.
We get so sidetracked.
I know, dude. I'm like,
This is both of our faults because we're both like these kind of people where we're like, tell me more about the Scientology. And then people listening are like, we get it. Where's day 2? We're still on day 1, 30 minutes into this podcast.
So anyway, all right. So Dublin happens. We're drinking. We go on a bar crawl. Whatever. It's fun.
How long are you in Dublin?
I think 2 to 3 days.
Okay. What's the craziest thing that happened in Dublin?
Craziest thing that happened in Dublin.
The Scientology?
Probably Scientology.
Okay.
I think notably, yeah, Scientology. We move on shortly thereafter to Amsterdam.
Okay. What's the trip to Amsterdam? Train?
We flew everywhere.
Oh, flew?
So
Okay.
yeah. So
I just assumed everything was a train in Europe because it's also close.
But we were crossing bodies of water like it was nobody's fucking
That's true.
business.
Ireland is an island.
Yeah.
That is true.
So we flew to Amsterdam, and Amsterdam's I think it's a really wonderful place. It is not wonderfully wholesome, but it is a fantastic place. We stayed in this hostel called the Flying Pig downtown. Flying Pig is iconic hostel. I'll go so far as to say iconic because it has like a pool table. It's open till like 3 with like a bar, and they have a smoking only room, like a cannabis room.
Wait, that's the hostel?
That's the hostel.
Okay.
It's a baller hostel. It's a great hostel. And so
I love how you go. It's iconic. It has a pool table, and it's open really late.
It's yeah.
I'm like, okay,
those
cool.
All right. We have those in New York at every corner.
We have those in every podunk town in Florida.
Yeah,
a place that's open late with a pool table.
Like, Florida. Yeah. Jupiter, Florida, the Amsterdam of lower Florida.
But the smoking rooms, that is a cool thing.
Smoking room is cool. So we're in Amsterdam for a few days. Probably the most. I think the most notable story did not have anything to do with the red light district.
Are you, just real quick for context, so you start with the one Guinness in Dublin, and now by the time you get to Amsterdam, are you and Matt going?
We're cooking, we're not doing anything like insane yet. We actually, the most insane thing that happened, this is not quite as insane as I remember, but for all intents and purposes, it is the most insane thing that happened. But basically we went to Rotterdam for a day trip. Which great town. We took a train there, and
Is that the one with the bikes?
I think so. It's like
with the bikes and the tulips and all this stuff.
I think so.
Am I thinking of the right? I know it's all in that same area.
Yeah. So we. Oh my God. You know what? I hate that I said this out of order. But I actually would like to go back to Dublin for a second because I do
get back on the plane.
I'm so ashamed that I have to cut myself off and go back here because this is the most important thing. Maybe not the most insane thing, but the most important thing that happened in Dublin was that I was able to get on stage at a comedy show.
Oh,
that I cannot believe.
Beautiful.
But you know what? Because I wasn't thinking in comedy context. I was able to do a show in Dublin. We basically we were hungover one morning, went to a cafe, drinking an espresso. I didn't start drinking coffee really until this trip because it was a way to cure hangovers.
Coffee and booze. God, your stomach hates you so much.
Oh, it was a wreck. But we were outside of we were at a coffee shop. I saw across the street this bar called International Bar, and outside of the bar they had a sign. It was like comedy show tonight. And I was like, oh, that's incredible. I had started comedy in college, did it like semi-consistently-ish, but I was not planning on getting on stage in Europe.
You're like, watch this, man. I'm going to fucking crush.
So, you ready for this? So I go to the bar. I was like, oh, that's fascinating. They have a show tonight. It's a Saturday night. They have a show tonight. So I go to the bar, and I go to the bartender. I was like, hey, I'm a comedian from New York. And
you fucking full of shit liar. You are not.
I'm a comedian from Ithaca.
I am an improvist from Ithaca.
I'm loosely an improvist from Ithaca. And so
I'm a comic from New York. You liar.
I know. And so I go in there and I was like, hey, you have a show tonight. Do you have the contact information?
Yeah,
of the
you
booker?
just said you're a comic from New York. Of course they're going to put you up.
So he gave me the booker's number immediately.
Yeah.
I called the booker and I go, hey, I'm a visiting comic from New York. So you have a show tonight. If you have any space, would love to do.
Of course we have space.
And he goes, no, this is what he said verbatim. And I'm going to try it. He said, oh, I hope you're fucking good. And he said it just like that, frankly.
I hope you're fucking good.
I hope you're fucking good. And long story short, I do this show that night, and it was incredible. It was awesome. I had a really good set.
Fuck yeah.
It was really fun.
Did you look at the booker and be like, how's that?
I mean, I just walked off stage and I was like, I'm fucking good. I'm fucking good.
I'm fucking
I'm
good.
fucking good. I had very early into comedy, a lot of hubris. But after the show, I'm talking to all these comics. They actually gave me names of people in Amsterdam to reach out to because I was like, I'm actually going to Amsterdam tomorrow. So we were there for 2 days, right? Friday and Saturday. Left for Amsterdam on Sunday. And so I was like, I'm going to Amsterdam. They connected me with some people. The one person I will actually shout out is Lara Ricote. I think that's how you say her name.
You can do it again.
Lara Ricote.
Yeah,
and I will double check
Lara Ricote.
Lara Ricote. She is unbelievable. She's a Netherlands, like, Amsterdam-based comic.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure won Best New Show at Fringe a couple years
Oh,
ago.
that's awesome.
Yes, incredibly
So
talented.
you reach out to them?
So I was connected to people who eventually connected me to her.
Okay.
And she actually gave my name without knowing me or really any context at all, gave my name to a producer there. And I got on a show in Amsterdam.
Damn.
At this place called Vondelbunker, which is an abandoned World War II bunker in Vondelpark, which is their main park. And it was incredible. It had all these...
Did you crush there too?
Not quite.
Yeah.
But it was like a fundraising show. I was just like so happy to be there. It was
Well,
great.
eventually, you gotta hit that stumbling block.
Yeah.
If you were just like, I crushed everywhere, I'd be like, why did you not stay in Europe and continue comedy there?
I know, but I was posting about it on Instagram. I was like, international tour is beginning. You guys excited? I was like, to my 12 followers. I was like, hey guys, you gotta check me out. My Europe fans, if you guys want to.
Dude, I used to do that all the time. When I got back into comedy in 2018, I would put all the time. Be like, oh, I'm going to do an open mic here, an open mic there, an open mic there. And then I would make a flyer and be like, where you can see me this week. And it's like, six open mics, dickhead.
But you got to do it.
They don't know that. They don't know that.
They have no idea. So I got on the show in Amsterdam, whatever. But the main thing that happened in Amsterdam was we went to Rotterdam. And Matt and I went to Rotterdam at some point during the trip, and we took the train there. We went to this it's like an outlook on top of this large, beautiful building. And there's this outlook. We met a couple these two women from there from the outlook. They're not from the outlook. They were on the outlook.
But they live in Rotterdam.
But they live in. I actually because they were also visiting.
I was gonna say that
Swedish.
seems. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
she was.
Yeah. And so one of them was like, oh, we have mushrooms.
Guten Daten.
Swedish chef. Shout out to the Swedish chef on the Muppet Show. And so she was basically like, oh, we have mushrooms. Do you want mushrooms? And Matt, Matt likes mushrooms. And so he did some mushrooms. And
I love how you hesitated there because you're like, am I gonna say this?
I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, he does mushrooms. And basically, he did these mushrooms, and I did not because I don't do mushrooms because I was just like, I don't know. I was like, I'm not taking the risk. I was like, I'll do weed.
Okay.
I'll wait till I do weed.
Well, that isn't the first time I ever saw cocaine. I was like, you're right. I mean, it's not apples to apples, but it is one of those things where it's like, no, I don't do hard drugs. I don't even do weed. Like, you guys are out of your mind. Like, I'm not touching this.
Yeah.
So I understand that instinct to be like, no, I'm good. Like, I don't do mushrooms.
Right. No, so I was like, I'll hold off. And Matt
Yeah.
did some, and it was seemingly very nice. We walked around with these people for a while. But we went home and we were like, we got to get some weed. So the process of getting weed in Amsterdam is very odd.
I've heard this.
It's very odd.
Yeah, it's not as easy as you think.
No, we went into this hole in the wall place, and you had to go through a security check or whatever. But we got some weed. We took it. I actually believe, I believe it was in Rotterdam right before we went back to Amsterdam on the train. So we get some weed. We took an edible, and then we got on the train, and it started to hit. We immediately, as soon as it started to hit, we take a picture and send it to our family.
We're good.
We're having a great time, and it was a strong edible. We went for food, and I have no idea what we ate. We went for dessert. I only remember the location. I don't remember any context. And I do remember that before we were going to dinner, we were standing out in the middle of Amsterdam, just moving very slowly. And I was like, we gotta eat dinner. And Matt was like, yes. So I was researching.
It's all fucked up.
And I was like, yes, food. So I'm researching on my phone, and I find a place, and I'm like, they have food here. And Matt's like, let's go there. And so I put it in maps. It's supposed to be a 5-minute walk. I follow Google Maps. We walk for about 20 minutes, and then I look around, and we've ended up in the same place that we started. We literally, he was
Just
like,
walked in a giant circle.
literally walked in a giant circle, and I was like, this is not.
That's about a mile. You walked in a mile circle.
You
20
walked in a
minutes.
circle? Yeah, straight up, and I was like, this is not what was supposed to happen.
Did you end up getting food?
We did end up getting food. We got food. That was the most. That was the weed section of the trip,
Yeah.
frankly, because I was like, you know what, I can't be afford to be getting lost like this.
Right.
Yeah, I was like.
So how long was it until you went to Dublin? To Berlin, yeah.
Berlin is really the fever pitch of this trip. So,
of course.
Berlin, I think we did 4 days in Amsterdam. So I think it was likely a Thursday. Oh, okay. Another quick aside. Not really an aside. It's relevant. Our flight to Berlin, we were supposed to do, I think, 4 days in Amsterdam. We ended up doing 5 because our flight to Berlin got canceled. So we had to reschedule. We had to schedule it for the following day.
Okay.
Must have been weather related or something. And so we had to add another day, but we wanted to stay in the same hostel. But they were like, we don't really have any we don't have 2 beds for you. We have 1 bed in a 32 bedroom hostel room. And we were like, we'll take it. So we ended up for a night sleeping in the same.
So it's like a big dorm with 32 beds.
32
and
beds.
All they had was one bed in
in
there.
the 32, and they were just
Aww,
like, yeah,
you and Matt getting
cute.
so close.
It was real cute, cuddled, it was nice. And so we were there. We
the next day. Never talk about this with anybody.
Never talk about it on a podcast, on a very good podcast with very good attentive listeners. And so we fly to Berlin. And the main reason, I think, one of the main reasons why we scheduled the trip the way we did is because there was a music festival.
Yep.
And at this place called Tempelhof, and it was at the tarmac of an abandoned airport that used to be, I think, like Hitler's private airport. Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, and Muse was headlining. Muse is a great band. It was like an alt rock.
It's
kind of thing.
Anima.
Anima, what? Oh God.
Slope. Who was it?
Amine.
Amine. God, I was so fucking close for that callback.
Damn,
I was this close for this callback.
Yes, it was. It
was no Amine.
No Amine. It was Muse.
I know Muse.
They're great.
Yeah.
The first time I learned about Muse was on Guitar Hero.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah. Uprising.
Yeah.
There you go. Guitar Hero 5 or 3 or whatever. So we go to this music festival, and I had a very large quantity of alcohol, very large. Not as large as what I'm about to tell you, which is the fever pitch of the trip, but I had a lot. It was like, and I took pictures of me drinking it. I still have it on my phone. It was great. At one point, it was like a Hinge profile picture I had. I was like, I don't know why. I was proud of that.
Hey, everybody.
Hey guys, this is a lot of alcohol. And so I
was it like an actual like tall thing of alcohol?
Yeah, it was like a 40.
Okay.
Basically, it was incredible. So I had that, and we're out, and it's like sunny, and it's summer, and we're on the tarmac, and I'm drinking, and at a certain point,
just where Hitler wanted you.
Right.
Got him right where I want him. Get them all together.
It was like, finally, thank you, Muse. You bring people together.
Get them all together on the tarmac.
On
Sorry.
the tarmac. No,
Inappropriate joke, but
no,
you
you're
teed
good.
it up
You're
so
good.
much.
No, I mean, you take the swing and you hit it over the fence. And so I drank a bunch, and at one point I had to take a nap. So I sit on
at the music festival.
At the music festival, so I sit on a bench, and the way I sleep is my head droops. So I was sitting down, my head drooped. For about 15 minutes, I napped. Matt took a well-timed photo of me.
That's awesome.
And you can see around me, people are looking very concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look dead.
I look dead, but I was sitting up, which is, I think that's core strength right there.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but I sleep with my neck like all the way down, drooping. So we do that. Muse is incredible. It's my first music festival ever. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Super fun.
That is a cool antidote though, or antidote. That is like a little anecdote.
Yeah,
is to be like, yeah, I've been to a music festival. It was in Berlin. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a cool guy. Oh, you went to Coachella in the desert? Cool. I flew to Berlin.
Yeah, it was on a tarmac. How many tarmacs have you been on?
Oh, you went to the desert? That's cute.
Yeah.
Call me when you have some culture. Okay, thanks.
I sit on concrete. Anyway, so we get to the final night in Berlin. And so Berlin they have like an open carry alcohol policy. Mm-hmm. And so we want to go out like clubbing. In the prior nights, we had tried to go to like the fancy clubs like
Yeah.
Bergheim, whatever. Some people were like,
They have really high-end clubs in Berlin.
really like Bergheim is like the main one. You have to dress a certain way. You can't like make eye contact. You have to just dress well, and you have to either be German, speak German, or be with people who speak German and can vouch for you. And you have to dress in like leather and all black. And so it's a very like intense culture. There's Kit Kat Club, where it's just a free for all.
Yeah.
You know, like
Kit Kat Club's the sex club, right?
that's the sex club. Yeah. And so we didn't go to any of those clubs. We didn't really have like much luck. But the last night we were like, we're gonna club. And so this is the real central story of this episode.
Got it.
So Matt and I we're gonna go party. And we're both, kind of feeling like shit at this point because it's been over a week.
It's been 8 days.
It's been 8 days of just straight out, not sleeping. You don't sleep well when you drink, blah blah. So we're like we're gonna party, and we were like we got to get the night started early. So we're talking to we have these two roommates in our hostel, or I think it's a 6-bed hostel room that we're staying in Berlin, and there are 5 people in there. It's me and Matt, these 2 other guys who are friends from somewhere, and then this one random Dutch woman.
Okay.
And so we're all
I've seen this movie before.
and so we're all like, we're gonna go out and party, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna do it. We're all gonna go out and party.
The 2 guys, where are they from?
God, I don't remember. Maybe
Are they American?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
They're American. 2 American guys. And then this Dutch woman. So we're about to get ready for the night, and we're like, yeah, we'll all go out as a unit. We'll pregame first. And so Matt and I go downstairs. We go to the nearest liquor store, and we buy a large bottle of Moscato. Large bottle of Moscato. And we basically just take turns down
That's
in
disgusting.
it. Yeah. Oh, I know.
You're like, I am aware.
I'm well aware of how
Why didn't you get like booze?
I don't know. I think we were like, well, that'll come later,
Okay. Yeah,
it's like
no.
liquor before beer or whatever.
Yeah,
Wine
no.
before.
I mean, the trajectory makes sense because you're like, we don't want to get hammered and then pass out in the hostel.
Precisely.
Let's do wine. Moscato's an easy wine to drink. It's super sweet.
Right.
Let's do
I
that.
was like, yeah, I have a sweet tooth.
I'm tracking with you. That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so we get this wine. We take turns downing it, and we're already we're feeling good. We're feeling good. We go. We grab these guys and the Dutch woman, and we're like, yeah, let's all go out. So we go to like a couple clubs, and we get rejected from every club that we go to.
Got it.
And they're all the German clubs. And then finally, and we're like,
The
no.
Dutch woman, does she speak German?
No. In fact, from my recollection, she doesn't really speak great English either, but she's just fun.
Yeah.
Like I think the most I could understand from her is that she was solo traveling and likes to party.
Yeah.
Like that's awesome. So we all go out.
Again, I've seen this movie.
What movie? And so
Talking about the 4 of you guys and the Dutch girl. I was making a reference to pornography, Skyler.
Oh, right, a fine film. A fine film. It's like it's always better when you explain the joke.
Yeah, that's.
I was like, well, because you brought up so many movies.
No, I do. I know.
And
You're
I was
right.
like, this guy's cultured. He's seen a movie with every plot line.
No, I meant like a porn where
porn film.
4 guys and a girl go out.
Right,
And then,
right.
How are we gonna pay this bill?
Oh no, yeah, in Berlin.
Oh no.
Right. So we get rejected from every club, and then we
Are you getting rejected because you don't speak German? Or are you getting?
It's
Okay.
like we're not dressed right. We're not like
Yeah.
And so we basically.
How are you getting rejected though? Because this is curious. Are you walking up being like, "Can we come in?" And they're just like, "No."
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much. Yeah. It's just like that, or like they'll just like they'll shake their hands. Sometimes they don't even talk. They're just like
Just Jedi mind trick you. Just. And you go, I don't even think we're supposed to be at this club.
Yeah, you're like, I don't even know what's supposed to be.
These aren't the droids you're looking
for. Right. And so we get rejected from all the clubs, and we're like looking. We're like, where are we gonna go? We're drunk, and we're like, what are we gonna do? And then I'm looking at my phone.
The Moscato's hitting, and you're like, what the fuck?
I'm like, I have so much Moscato in my system. This is fun. We
gotta
have
dance
fun.
it out.
Yeah. So we're like, okay, we find. Finally, a club. We had either looked up or gotten a recommendation from someone else. I don't remember, but it was probably the only club in the area that would let any American in.
Got it.
And so we go to this American club and we get let in, and it's just a bar mitzvah playlist, and it's like this is so sad. I could do this in New York.
Let me buy you a drink. Ooh, I'm gonna take you home with me.
Katy Perry,
yeah,
Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah,
and it's like all of that, and we're all like dancing, and we're just getting the beers. There also just like I think larger size, so we're just getting beers. We're knocking back beers. We're dancing.
Yeah, because their pint is an actual pint. It's 16 ounces, whereas here our pints are like 10 to 12.
Right, exactly.
Which is not a pint.
Yeah, so their pint is like fun size,
Yeah.
you know. And so like we have a bunch of beer, whatever, and then we go home for the night after a night of dancing, and we're all like, "That was great. You guys are so fun. Let's keep in touch when you come to America." Blah blah. So we go to bed at like maybe 3 or 4. Now, our flight the next day to Copenhagen is in the morning.
Yeah.
And so we have to get up at, I estimate, about 5:30 maybe.
So just 2-hour nap.
Just
basically.
like a 2-hour nap. So we go to bed. And I wake up a short, like, hour and a half to 2 hours later. And Matt wakes up as well. And it becomes very apparent that we are both still clearly very drunk.
Just hammered.
Hammered. And so...
Yeah, 2-hour nap's not going to take that out of your system.
Not in the slightest. So we wake up and we're like, might as well go to the airport. And so...
You just wake up, you're like, I'm feeling great.
Well, I can't wait to fly.
Let's do it, man.
We go in there. And so... so we take the train, we pack up all our stuff, we check out of the hotel, and we're like, this is a great stay, 5 stars.
You're the best. You're the best.
No,
Dankeschön.
We're gladly
Dankeschön.
we're gladly stay here again, 5 stars. And so we leave the hostel. We make it to the train, and we take the train to the airport. And the train does not go in a straight line. And so and this, if you listen
This
to
is
the
Metro
past,
North all over again.
I know. So if you listen to the past, yeah. So train is not going in a straight line.
This is the fucking Volkswagen all over again.
Right. I think it was a Volkswagen or Mitsubishi.
Mitsubishi.
Right.
Windy roads.
So we both, our solution at the moment, it's bright. And when you're drunk, the brightness is tough. No. So we both put on sunglasses inside this train. We're sitting opposite each other, and
just trying not to throw up.
Really, really trying. So neither of us throw up. We get off of the train.
Oh, you still got to go in the air.
Oh yeah. So neither of us throw up. We get off we have to go through security. So we're hammered, and which, people have talked about going through security drunk. It's truly a surreal experience, and we're both very drunk, and like there's, how like sometimes there's a place to lean on in security when you're waiting online. Mm-hmm. There's no place to lean on. So Matt is basically just kind of like leaning on me, like just being like, I can't. And I'm like, I can.
Suck it up. We got to fucking figure this out.
I'm still hammered. And so at this point,
his hangover's kicking in, but you're still drunk. You're like, I feel great, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what's brilliant about you? Many things, but you actually hit the nail on the head for this story, which is that he started sobering up, and I was drunk, and what I witnessed was what would happen to me in 1 hour. So I'm witnessing his hangover.
Just started to hit him?
Started to hit him, and I go, oh, this is foreshadowing. This
is gonna suck.
So we get through. We somehow get through security. We're hammered. We have to walk. Of course, we have to walk like 20 minutes to our gate.
Ugh.
We have 20 minutes to our gate, and so we get to our gate, and Matt like passes out, and he's like somewhere in between like extreme nausea.
It's super in the morning too.
It's early. It's probably like 7 or 8
at this point,
or whatever. Yeah. So
you've been up since 5.
Yeah. So he passes out like immediately at the gate, and I'm still kind of drunk, and I'm like, all right, what's the worst that can happen? And then I start sobering up, and I go,
a lot, Skyler.
And I go, oh yeah. So
There's terrible things that can happen.
So I go, what's the worst? Oh, I'm starting to understand what's the worst that can happen. And I'm like, oh, I certainly have to go throw up. And so I'm like, okay, where's the nearest bathroom? I don't know why in Berlin, where so many people could clearly have the same issue as us, which is being extraordinarily hungover, is they're like, okay, well, it looks like at this terminal, there's one bathroom, and it's a 15-minute walk away from anything.
Remember how you walked 20 minutes to get here? Turn around, walk 15 minutes back.
So I go, and like when you're trying not to throw up, you're kind of walk like you have a stick up your ass. In some ways, it's like you walk like very deliberately and like very slowly, and you're like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it.
Every step counts.
Every step matters. And so I get to the bathroom, and I just like lock the door, and I kind of tried telling Matt that I was gonna go, and he was just asleep, and I was like, this is not gonna happen. So I like go to the bathroom, I stand over the toilet, and I just try to throw up, and I cannot.
No.
I cannot throw up. I stand over with my mouth open. I just literally have my mouth open over the toilet, and I cannot for the life of me throw up. And then I'm like, whoa, this is inefficient. This is inefficient because what if I like leave and then I have to go right back because it's so far. So then I walk out of the bathroom. I find the nearest food. I was like, I got to get food in my stomach. And like, you know, what do they have in Berlin? They have pretzels. So
Yeah.
I get a massive pretzel. And I have never struggled to put down anything more in my entire life. I was eating this pretzel in like 1 by 1 cubic centimeter.
Yeah, just trying to
inches.
get something in your stomach.
Literally, right. So I was like dogging. I was trying to get down. I probably only got like 1/8 of the way through this pretzel. And then finally, I just like decided to take just like a fuckload of like ibuprofen or Advil, some helpful drug. And so Matt like wakes up and we like board the plane, and I'm a very anxious flyer. I'm an extraordinarily anxious flyer. I have been for a long time. And this has never happened, but I was so hungover. Like we get on the plane, but I was so hungover that I was asleep for our takeoff, which some people can do that. I've never been able to do that.
I'm an anxious flyer as well. I can't.
Right. So no, I fell dead asleep for a takeoff. Like I don't remember the plane, whatever. And then I like wake up. Turns up to be like 10 minutes after we take off, and like Matt, who's recovered enough, turns to me and he goes, "We're almost landing." And I go, "Wait, that's incredible!" Like, or like I'm in a stupor. I'm like, "Wait, that's amazing. We did it." And he was like, "No, we just took off. Like this is gonna suck." And I was like, "Oh, you're right." So we eventually touched down at Copenhagen. Whatever. I don't even remember what we did that day. It was a nightmare.
How long were you in Copenhagen for?
I think another 4 days, and that's where we went back. But that night, oh my God, I don't know why. That night we were like, yeah, let's have some wine. And so
you fucking idiots.
we had some wine, played some pool in the hostel, and then I wake up the next morning, and now this is gonna tie the whole story together basically. My last month of college, I had an undiagnosed sinus infection, which I had not been. I now get a yearly sinus infection. That's just how my body works. Once a year, I get a really bad sinus infection, and I just have to go on a fuckload of antibiotics.
Yeah.
And so I get a really bad sinus infection, and I basically. It was not diagnosed. I went to urgent care. I went to like doctors, and they were like, "You have bronchitis. You have like blah blah blah," and it reached a fever pitch where like I went to urgent care for like the third time in Ithaca. Like it was in my last month of college. It was like a couple weeks before I graduated. I went to urgent care in the morning, and they were like, "We're pretty busy right now. Come back later." I was like, "You are urgent care. Like it is in your title is that."
I need care urgently.
And I was like, what am I supposed to? So I kind of had like, I kind of like lost my shit like a little bit, not on them, but I called my parents. I was like, this fucking everything sucks.
Bullshit.
I hate Ithaca. I hate my life. I hate being sick. And so I was able to finally get like a telehealth appointment with a doctor, and I got on a telehealth appointment with a doctor, and I was like, here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna give me any medication that I want. And he did. He literally did. I was like, "You're gonna give me antibiotics, and you're gonna give me steroids, and you're gonna give it to me right now," because I was like losing it. And he was like, "Yes, I will."
What was it? Like a sinus infection? What does that do? Is it
so
just
like
you can't breathe?
Discolor. Yeah, it's like so when the mucus gets stuck up.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah. So
Yeah,
and then it turns like green. It's the whole thing. It's
Yeah.
disgusting. But so I had a really bad sinus infection. And then it finally healed. I took my full course of antibiotics. I go to Europe and I drink for 2 weeks in a row. And in Copenhagen, I wake up the morning after we come back from Berlin. Sinus infection is fucking back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
And so, but I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna let this ruin my trip. And so I continued to drink throughout Copenhagen. And I go home and like I truly got home after the trip, and like the trip ended wonderfully. We rode bikes and whatever. Like Copenhagen is a beautiful city, architecture.
Yeah.
If you ever go there, beautiful city. And so we finally come home. Matt also had gotten sick at the end of this trip. And so
it's 2 weeks straight of drinking.
We were just like dead. I go back home. I clearly have a sinus infection again, or the same one rather. And so I get into I go to like a telehealth appointment again with the same guy. I'm like, "Hey man, hate to break it to you, it's back." And or actually maybe it was either a telehealth thing or maybe I saw this guy in person because he was probably New York based.
What's
I was
up,
in
quack?
Call back. There you go. And I was like, I'm gonna go so I like went into the office and he was like, "Yeah, it's back." And I was like, "Well, how do we handle it?" And he was like, "Well, we could give you antibiotics." And I was like, "Okay, will it kill it?" And he was like, "Well, I hope so, because it's not healthy to take antibiotics back to back, you know, because it's like it like fucks up your yeah." And I was like, "Wait, so what should we do?" And he's like, "I'll give you the antibiotics." And I was like,
So you went on a course of antibiotics and spent 2 weeks drinking, and then went back on antibiotics.
I'm back on antibiotics, which is so not scientifically recommended.
Don't have a strong stomach.
No, that was a
As displayed
worst-case
in your
scenario.
first episode.
Precisely. And so I took the antibiotics, and he was like, there could be adverse effects, but we'll give you the antibiotics. And I was like,
Yeah,
you know what? I
chalk
feel
it
like
up.
garbage.
Here we go.
Yep. And so I took the antibiotics, and I'm here to tell a tale. And that is really the hangover that I experienced in Berlin is far and away the worst hangover I had ever had in my entire life. And I'm proud of the bounce back. Well, not quite. It wasn't really a bounce back.
Yeah, but you did it.
Yeah.
You went to Europe. Now you talked about it on the pod.
Yeah, man.
Take that, Greg. Does he even have any stories?
Greg, I have stories. Man. I got a lot, and I got more.
Plug everything one more time.
Skyler Holzman, Instagram, Skyler Holzman _, and then Leg Day Comedy, and then Uncover the Spread Pod. And my goodness, am I so grateful for this podcast and for your friendship.
Dude, thanks for coming on, man.
This is so fun.
This is a blast.
This is an absolute blast.
Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. At Brennan T Comedy on all social media, BrennanTComedy.com. I've got shows in New York. I'll be in Denver the 26th and 27th of September doing 6 shows at the Denver Comedy Lounge. And then next month, we are doing Friends of the Pod. So come check out that show as well. We'll talk to y'all next week.
See ya.
Dude!